Hey, friends, welcome back to another episode of Chai with Pie. I am your host, Pi Patel, if we haven't had the pleasure of meeting. So, today I'm going to have a very special guest come on. He is going to be telling us about his project, and it is Green Earth. So, I have been checking out the website. I'm pretty excited about this because honestly, food is so important. I mean, it's like it's super important, right? To everything we do. We all love food. We all have our reasons for eating food. But I know that as I get older, I am trying to eat more healthier, trying to watch what it is that I eat. And I definitely want to know where my food comes from. So, this is one of the things that this project is working on. And we're going to find out more about it. So, let me welcome Shankar. He is with Green Earth. All right, guys. So here is Shankar. He is going to introduce himself and the project Green Earth. Welcome.
Uh, Hi, Pai. Thank you very much for having me on your show. And on behalf of all the co-founders and the team members of Green Earth Project, thank you very much for having me. And so I'll take a few minutes to explain what we're doing here in Green Earth Project. Uh, we're uh, we're trying to solve a problem which is worldwide in its nature and very large in its scope. And the problem is of lack of transparency in the global food supply chain. The global food industry and the food supply chain lacks transparency, and that lack of transparency or the opaqueness in various parts leads to a lot of tampering, adulteration, fraud, and all kinds of, let us say, things that are not expected. And that's how you get lower quality food products. In fact, it's not just lower quality. In many cases, it's outright harmful food products. So what we did as part of our research was that to find out what kind of uh, adulterations are happening worldwide in different countries. We did careful studies for four markets: India, US, Canada, UK, and the
Mm,
entire EU. So five in total, Europe as one. So we found out some very key trends, which I can share with you. And so the crux is that we want to use blockchain technology to provide transparency into the food supply chain.
mm-hmm.
And we will create that transparency by uh, linking and connecting the entire supply chain from the food source itself. So, from the very source of the food, let's say it's a farm. So, we will
Mm-hmm.
start tracking the food from the farm onwards, right till the time it reaches the consumer. And at no point there will be any opaqueness or lack of transparency. So, we know that the food moved from this is how it got processed, packaged, transported, and at no point it's going into a black box. And
Mm-hmm.
that will lead us to confidently offer, using the blockchain technology, authentic food products which will be of the highest quality.
Okay. And so basically from seed to the consumer, everything from the beginning all the way.
Yes, and the demand for that is significant in terms of what all we can do. For example, different studies worldwide by the
Mm-hmm.
regulators have shown that 10 to 30% of the food samples that you have in the retail markets are non-conforming to the standards. That's a pretty large number.
Very
Uh,
large.
yes, and when we say non-conforming, uh, it varies in range from outright harmful chemicals and dyes added to it, which are carcinogenic or cancerous,
Mm-hmm.
damaging liver, kidney, uh, and a host of chronic diseases. So that is the very dangerous end of it. And then we have the less dangerous adulteration, which is uh, wrong labeling, mixing inferior products instead of superior products, like etc. etc. So, but essentially, in every single case, in those 10 to 30% samples which are non-conforming, consumers are getting cheated. And
Mm-hmm.
what we have found is that there are consumers who want to buy the authentic pure products.
Mm-hmm.
And currently, what we have is we have these labels called organic or bio for the food products, and they are 2 to 3 times higher in price in the supermarkets, and
Mm-hmm.
that makes them out of reach for a large set of consumers
Yeah.
because of their prices. So what we have studied as part of our preparation for this project with our experience is that if we use the blockchain, and the blockchain itself ensures authenticity, then lot of the prices or the price premiums involved in organic foods will come down, and we may have 50% lower premiums than what they are today, and therefore in organic foods, and therefore they will become that much more accessible to consumers from where they are today. So we are talking about significantly expanding the size of the present organic food market, which is
Mm.
currently around 700 or 800 billion dollars worldwide, and it's growing about 10 to 20% per annum. And we are talking about expanding that significantly with lower price points, because the blockchain
Mm.
technology will enable us to showcase the transparency on the entire chain, and consumers can see that the product that they have bought, how it has traveled from its source till their delivery or shipment, and that gives the confidence to the consumers to use that product again and again. And also, we expect that all those food producers or food companies who will participate with us, they will get a global audience for their products. And so it's a win-win for them to come to Green Earth blockchain as clients or partners, for and then showcase their products. And we would be taking a fee of 1 to 10% of the sale value. But in the beginning, we most of our clients and partners may pay 3 to 5% of the sale value. And but it's a win-win because they would also be expanding their sales significantly by coming onto Green Earth blockchain.
Okay. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm 100% on board with something like that because I know even when you purchase organic, to be honest, you don't really know. There's still a
Mhm.
part of you that really does not know how what are all the techniques and stuff behind what they had used to produce that. Did they use any pesticide? Because I know there are certain pesticides that are okay to use for organic, and so I know generally I prefer to, when I am able to here, buy directly from the farms. So go to a farmer's market and to be able to speak to the farmer who has brought that produce. But it's not always, it doesn't always work, and it's just not economical for most people, and timings are difficult. So it only happens certain times out of the week. I definitely think this is a great idea. Now, what is the team doing to onboard these farmers? Is that's where you'll have to start, right?
Yes, we will have two kinds of customers, or the people who will come on to sell their products. Uh, the end farmers who are large in size, for example, somebody who has hundreds of acres of apple farms, and they may be producing fresh apples as one product, and then let's say apple juice as second product, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe apple jams as third
Yeah.
product, let's say.
Yeah.
So there could be a large farmer, and so that farmer can onboard, as we will have them, we'll be calling them as clients, the ones who are
Mm-hmm.
directly the food producers. And the second category, which will be a larger category, probably in the beginning, will be the niche e-commerce players, or niche e-commerce companies who are already dedicated to offering high quality natural food
Mm-hmm.
products to their customers. And so these e-commerce companies, we'll call them as partners.
Mm-hmm.
And our first partner will be a e-commerce company called Ganga in India.
Okay.
And so so this Ganga would have probably more than 100 product categories, and thousands of products on their app, the
Mm-hmm.
e-commerce app. And so currently the integration uh, is planned for January with Ganga,
Okay.
January 2023.
Mm.
And at that point, when that integration is done with Ganga app, then we will see Green Earth blockchain working and executing the plan where
Yeah.
the and all the transactions that are happening on Ganga e-commerce app start reflecting on Green Earth blockchain, and the users worldwide, anyone, including you, can
Mm-hmm.
click, come on can come on Green Earth blockchain and see what happened in a given transaction. And the beauty is that every transaction will show who the participants of that transaction were. So every person who has been involved in the chain will be visible in the blockchain. So that's a level of transparency that we have not seen anywhere worldwide in the food supply chain. So that's possible because of the blockchain, and that's why this is our main and major use case to bring transparency in the food supply chain. But we also have some other use cases coming up, uh, which include carbon credit trading and natural health care. I can briefly describe the two. When we say carbon credit trading, it's a very nascent market. Carbon credits are basically like if you have, let's say, a forest with you, it's and so you can sell the credits of that forest as the owner of the forest to companies who are requiring carbon credits because they are producing so much of CO2, like let's say an airline company,
Mm-hmm.
okay, or some other industry which is involved in a lot of production, and they need to offset that. So uh, so we have this market which is very nascent at this point. The last study we saw was about, it's annually about 2.5 billion USD. The voluntary, it's called the voluntary carbon market, VCM.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still early stages where uh, and these carbon credit trades are enabled by specialist agencies. But what we are saying is that once we have these farmers on board
Mm-hmm.
with Green Earth, we can also have the same logic where all of them who have, let's say, 5 trees, 10 trees, 50 trees with them in their farm, we can aggregate all of them, and it could be maybe 500,000 trees or a million trees. And suddenly, we have the blockchain to support the presence of each tree
Mm-hmm.
on that farm, along with the Google Maps and their snapshots stored as NFTs on the blockchain as
Okay.
images.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that we will have on the farm as will be stored as an image or a video as an NFT
As
on
an NFT.
IPFS. Yeah, and
Mm.
so there's a backup proof for what we are doing. So this aggregated set of, let's say, a million trees across our farmer base now is a very viable carbon credit offer, and that can then bring income to these individual farmers who at 5, 10, 50 trees level could not even enter or think of participating in this market, because that is not even the entry point or not even a fraction of what is required to start.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that sense, using Green Earth blockchain, people who do have trees or are in that uh, uh, position to offer their trees can also earn extra income from that. So it's again another use case where the blockchain's transparency and the ability to aggregate a large set of people or their resources, natural resources, in this case it is trees, can convert into income for them. And at
Mm.
all times, it is a blockchain which enables the transparency to say that yes, these trees are here in these numbers, and they are
Mm.
being backed by the images or videos that we can click and see, and those are NFTs which are stored on IPFS.
Okay. So now you said there was another use case other than that as well, you mentioned?
Yes, yes, that's of natural healthcare. So in this use case, so initially we have this food products that we want to have transparency into, which is a really major case that we want to solve.
Mm-hmm.
Natural healthcare is like this, that uh, what our co-founders who have been working on the ground have consistently seen that the usage or the knowledge involved in many of these natural products, let's say herbs from Himalayas or herbs from the deep forests,
Mm-hmm.
that knowledge is available with very few people who have been with them for a lifetime, probably. And often that knowledge is getting lost as those people, let's say, perish, or and it is not
Mm-hmm.
getting transferred. But even in the case that the knowledge is there, the you because their visibility of those people on those herbs is so less, that as potential treatment solutions, is that they never get to a wider audience. And
Mm.
so what we want to do is again use the transparency of the blockchain to uh, showcase these. Let's say we have a herb, a Himalayan herb,
Mm-hmm.
which can do certain treatments. So what we want to do is use the blockchain to record every usage of that herb by that practitioner, and see how how many times it worked out well. And so everybody can see in front of them transparently that this herb was used by this practitioner 1,000 times, and out of that 800 times it worked out well. So
Mm-hmm.
that provides for the first time a very transparent usage and results for these herbs and natural healthcare products, which is currently entirely missing.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. I mean, it's so true that there has been so many herbs that have been completely forgotten about, and now we have to rediscover them again as to what the treatments could be. And this can be a huge game changer for the Ayurveda industry. I mean, just the herbal industry in general. That
Yes.
is so fascinating. And to
Yeah,
see the how many outcomes were, came from that. Good,
yes,
bad.
because I think that's something which the co-founders of Green Earth, who are on the ground operating in the farms and forests, have seen that this knowledge, or the data of what happened in what case, keeps getting lost. And so the people are using them, but it's so much on case to case basis. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody's has to trust that it worked out in a few cases. What we're saying is that with Greener blockchain we can just remove that let's trust or maybe give it a try. You can
Mm-hmm.
actually see what happened in hundreds of use cases, hundreds of patients or treatments,
Mm-hmm.
and then take and make a very educated decision that this
Yeah.
looks suitable or not suitable.
Yeah, it's a
And
medical study we're putting on the
yes,
blockchain. Yeah.
yes, and so that's what we want to do. And there are dozens of such Ayurvedic or natural healthcare products, and they are not just limited to India or Himalaya. We have products, similar products coming from the sea, enzymes from Iceland that we are
Mm-hmm.
studying with another
Nice.
known person in the UK, and there are other products coming from Alaska. And so the nature's bounty is all over the world, and
Mm-hmm.
people who have been associated with those specific natural products know their value. But
Mm-hmm.
in an environment where the let's say the big pharma or big medicine or big consumer companies, they have some very large budgets, and nothing stands in front of them. And
Mm-hmm.
so why would somebody give something a try when there is no proof for it? So we want to build that blockchain as a proof for some of these
Mm.
potentially powerful natural treatments, and that could also be a very powerful use case.
Oh, very much so. I mean, this would be is a huge game changer for anyone who believes in natural medications and stands against the big pharma. I mean, we don't want to go into that too much, but I'm a huge believer in trying to do things the natural way. First, I always try to do the natural way. Unless I'm dying, then I then I will go to the hospital. That is my last resort. I'm very in tune with my own body, so I can tell when I don't feel good. You know what? I think upping my dose of turmeric will help me get rid of some of this inflammation. I mean, how long has it taken the Western world to adopt to some of the things that have been done in the Eastern world for so long, right? Because it lacked the studies until the big pharma or whoever got involved and they said, oh, yeah, turmeric is good for this. Curcumin is good for this. It just, we've been using it for so long, but the studies have been lacking. This is amazing. I love this use case.
In fact, just to add a point there, it's in my view, it's not even Eastern versus Western. Those resources are all over the place, including west of where you are in Alaska. So
Yeah.
it's just that the conducive and suitable platform is not there to showcase.
Mm-hmm.
And so once we have a platform, those people who are using it, using certain enzymes or certain natural products or whatever that come from the ocean or the
Mm-hmm.
hills or the springs, they can bring that forward, what knowledge they have about that particular product or set of products, and they can put it in a very transparent way, and people can then try that.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever is being tried is getting recorded, so that logbook of results, that's
Mm-hmm.
what we want to achieve. And that was something which our founders, co-founders, really believe, that if we can achieve that, then we will have something very powerful.
Yes, I totally can see this being a huge game changer, like I said. Is there already, I mean, is there already some items that have already been researched, you mentioned, that are already being logged, or this is still coming soon?
uh, as in terms of the natural healthcare
Yes.
products. Oh yes, we are aware of probably at least a dozen such products. So we will
Okay.
see, but the system required for
Mm-hmm.
that, like to be able to track the usage of every person, and so to create the suitable logbook on blockchain, that setup is not ready yet. So the first use case is the food supply chain transparency, and
Okay.
that's what we are developing now. And once we launch this one, then we can get to the other use case and the other use cases, like that, one by one.
One by one. Yes, of course. Now what there is a couple of blockchains that I can think of that have attempted to do something like this, but what makes Green Earth stand out like completely away from them, stands different. I can already tell some items, but let the audience know.
Well, I have been myself involved in blockchain projects and cryptocurrency markets for 3 years, nearly 4 years now.
Mhm.
And uh, I keep seeing projects from all kinds of backgrounds and founders. Green Earth project, when the idea was proposed by my co-founders, so there are four co-founders, and I was the last to come on board almost. So
Okay.
it's because the idea of using blockchain to tie up the whole solution together, that came once I was on board. So the knowledge that we have, the actual real life knowledge of 20, 25 years plus with each of those co-founders, in real uh, farms, forests, food supply chains, I think that will make Green Earth project really unique, because there are two things that are standing out in my mind when I compare Green Earth with all other projects. One, the use cases are very real. And so there are many projects where I see that the use cases are uh, not very clear, or they are still being developed
Mhm.
or evolved. And we have a host of, like, the Me Too, DeFi, one more variation of DeFi, just tampering with some parameters here and there, and maybe instead of blockchain X, we'll use blockchain Y, etc. So so in Green Earth, we have a very strong use case, in fact, a set of use cases that will come one by one.
Mhm.
And the second is that there are also very clear income streams with each use case. Like I mentioned, right from the word go, the blockchain will start earning an income from the clients and partners. So that income enables or will enable us to regularly buy our tokens back from the exchanges, when users who are getting the tokens as rewards,
Mhm.
or any of our community members who are getting the tokens as rewards, some of them will put those tokens on sale, or some of them, or a partial number. And so our ability to create income from the word go makes this a project that will sustain on its own, with its own income. And the supply of tokens will keep getting absorbed by the ongoing buying back of those tokens from exchanges that are being put for sale by users and community members. So that will enable the project to be a project that is geared for self-sustaining growth.
Yes, I definitely agree. Now, as we near our time with you here today, why don't you tell us all where we can go if we believe in this project and we want to invest in it? Where should we go to buy some of the tokens?
Yeah, so first of all, the token name is GEBT, which is a short
GEBT.
for Green Earth Blockchain Token. So Green Earth
Okay.
Blockchain Token. So it's pretty simple,
Yes.
GEBT. And we are using Algorand blockchain for this token. And the reason for Algorand blockchain is that uh, Algorand is currently the most efficient blockchain in terms of transaction speeds and low transaction costs per transaction. And
Mm-hmm.
because Green Earth is going to be a very e-commerce or transaction heavy system,
Mm-hmm.
we want uh, low transaction costs and high transaction speeds. So Algorand is the best for that. We have done the studies for more than a year for that. And so we have two pairs for our token. One is GEBT USDT, and
Okay.
the other one will be GEBT Algo, which is the default for the blockchain.
Mm.
And we are currently in the process of launching the token on two exchanges. One is called Dex Trade in London, and the
Mm-hmm.
other is called Windax in Vietnam. The Windax exchange is available for pretty much everyone outside of US and Canada. So it is not
Okay.
available for US and Canada, but Dex Trade is available for worldwide investors.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of the people in the North America, US, Canada, they can go to Dex Trade
Dex
in
trade.
London.
Okay. Perfect. So can you tell us how much is it trading for at the moment? Do we have any prices?
We have just put a sample pool on a swap site called Tinyman, which is usually our first place just to register the token pair, the
Okay.
two pairs, GBT, USDT, and GBT Algo. So we did that on Tinyman, which is a swap
Okay.
site. So just to get the pair done, and
Yes.
uh, and it's currently between one USDT to 1.2 USDT. Our price to offer the token is going to be one USDT on the exchanges, and it'll be in maybe two or three slabs, but the starting from one USDT.
Okay. Perfect. So is there a can you give us a little bit of information on like the total supply? Do you have any of that information at the moment?
Oh, I have all the information. I mean,
Okay.
this is my project, right? So, yes, the supply is 1 billion USDT,
Okay.
and it is pre-mined, and max total supply is predefined from the day one. So
Okay.
we have finite supply
Okay.
and pre-mined tokens, and
Mm-hmm.
these tokens will be released over a 10-year period.
10-year. Okay.
Yeah. So a majority of the tokens will be released right now in the early phase between now and December. But
Okay.
there are the tokens meant for users, which is 50% of the supply. They
50.
get released over a 10-year period. So
Mm,
because the project will grow along with user adoption. And so we have in out of the 1 billion supply, which is the total supply, max total supply, we will have 800 million as circulating supply, which is available for release but not released. And
okay.
200 million is logged in a reserve account, and that reserve account will only open in Jan 2029.
Okay. And what about like the percentages? So how much of it is for marketing and those kinds of
Stakeholders, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we have so out of the we have 50% of the total supply for users to be
Okay.
released over a 10-year period. We
Mm-hmm.
have 10% for community
Okay.
is all those people who are going to be on the ground or on the internet space, people who are going to help the project grow.
Yes.
And so we will be giving the community tokens to people who are helping the project reach to its growth and to far and wide places. And then
Okay.
we have 20% allocated for investors, and we will be and it is going to be released gradually as we need the capital for growth. So it's not necessary to be sold right at the word go. And then 20%, the last 20% is for founders, and there are four founders, and it is for the founders. And the founders, there are policies in the white paper which are described about how the founders can sell and at what rate they can sell. So the tokens won't, even if the founders were to decide to sell all their tokens, it will still take them minimum 5 years to sell.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. And where would, if somebody's interested in getting involved in the community, do you have a Telegram, Discord, something where they can join you?
Oh yes, yeah, we have
Okay.
everything, and they're all getting started. So on our website is www.greenearth.ai forward
Okay.
slash contacts. On the contact page, we have all the links.
Okay. And actually, guys, I will go ahead and copy and paste all of those in the description and in the comment of this video. So don't worry. I just wanted to get that from him. So what else what have we not talked about that we need to still know about Green Earth?
I think which it could be a good point for a second or subsequent discussion is how do we actually go about ensuring that transparency that we want to bring. We said we will do that, but how do
Mm-hmm.
we, how can somebody who's listening today be sure that we could actually do that? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what we are saying we'll do, and if we can actually do that, then this project is very big.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say very big, we are talking about a market which is 500 billion to $1 trillion in size for us to go
Mm-hmm.
and do something. And so Green Earth blockchain aims to have in a 10-year time frame $100 billion worth of transactions on the blockchain. So the size of project that we are talking here is very large.
Very large.
and
Yeah.
so and so that large project requires a large team, large resources. And so the tokenomics of this project are kept with that in mind, that to do this project correctly we need certain minimum capital pool for the correct operation. Otherwise it will not happen. So the tokenomics come from that angle.
No, that absolutely makes sense. We are coming to the end almost of our time. My Zoom is going to actually log us off. If there's still more that you want to mention, we need to hop off and get back on. So, shall we do that?
I think we've done a very good coverage of the points we wanted to do, and I think we can definitely aim to have a second call maybe sometime in the coming days and
Yeah.
do a drill down on whatever questions come from the users or our potential members on social media.
Oh, that sounds perfect. I thank you so much for your time. I'm gonna wrap us up so we don't completely lose you here. But I do appreciate your time. I'm super excited about the project. This is something that we need. I mean, we all need food, right? First and foremost, and we all want to give our body good, wholesome food. So this is awesome. I, for one, there you go. I'm sorry about that. That cut us off. Go ahead and what were you saying?
Yeah, what I was saying, Pai, is that those of the audience who are interested to learn more about the project, we have the website and the FAQs page, which has all the questions that we have got. There are about 15, 16 questions, and probably by this weekend, we'll have about 25, 30 questions there, which cover everything that we are getting from all corners. Uh, and what we have found is for this project, very interestingly, people who have not invested in any crypto so far, they are coming up and saying we want to invest. So they have not even bought Bitcoin yet, but they are interested in GBT.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very interesting thing that we are observing, because the use cases are so close or near to what they are experiencing, and that they are saying that this is interesting as a project to participate. And so that was the one thing. And I think the first and major country where we want to implement is India, because India is among the leaders in the food non-conformation or food adulteration. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
market where our teams are also located, founders are also there on the ground. So that's a market which we will grow first. But Green Earth is really for the globe, and we will be there in every country, every major country, one by one, rolling out and adding partners and clients in all countries, including the US, Canada, entire Europe, Middle East as well. So I think so. We are looking at a sizable set of people working with us in different forms, part time, full time, all kinds of requirements will be there. So we do see a significant need for adding team members. So not just investors into tokens. We'll also be adding team members. So that's the other message.
Yeah, if anyone is looking for a job in Web3, even part time, definitely drop it in the comments. Get a hold of me on Telegram and I can get you connected, or go on the website and go to the contacts. That's the best place. Get a hold of the team because this is a big project and it definitely has huge potential. And like I was saying, this is such a near and dear thing to all of us because food is a requirement to live, and we all want to have good food. We all want to have wholesome food for ourselves and our children. So I am really excited, and I really like the idea of also being able to put all the medications, plant medications, whether it be spirulina that comes from the oceans, or anything that comes from anywhere in the world, from Alaska to India, having that on the blockchain. So there's studies that we can see what has benefited people, what kind of results they got, and we're not just taking it from our grandma or something that, oh yeah, you need to take this because this is good for that, but we can actually see studies. This is a next level of herbal medication in my opinion, so I'm really excited about that as well, and just to see what will happen. I will definitely reach out to you and see how I can be involved more as well. We will be
Sure.
speaking soon again and continue our conversation further. Since this was our first initial, just trying to find out what is Green Earth, what are you trying to solve, what is it, what world changing thing are you doing? So now that we have that, I'm sure I myself will have lots of questions as well. And I'm sure people will too. So if anyone has comments, questions, drop them in the comment section. I'm sure that Shankar will be very happy to answer all the questions.
Yeah, will be. So thank you so much for having me. And on behalf of my team and co-founders, thank you very much, Pi, and all the people who have watched this video.
Thank you so much for being on. Thank you for coming in the middle of the night almost for you and speaking with us today. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
You have a wonderful rest of your night.
Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, guys, so that was Shankar, one of the founders of Green Earth. That was really interesting, right? I hope you found that to be really interesting as well. We went a little longer because I had a lot of questions, and I still do actually. So if you also have some questions, please drop them down in the comments below. I would really appreciate it because, like he said, we're going to have another session where we're going to speak again, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the project. So if you're interested in this project and everything that they're doing with tracking the food and getting all the herbs and all those onto the blockchain, then you guys, you got to check it out. Check out their token. Go to Green Earth .ai, and again, I'll drop these in the comments down below. Follow their Twitter. I will put that in the comments below as well, and in the description, so you can follow the project and see what they're up to. And again, their big partnership with Gunga, that is a huge thing. I am honestly really excited about this. Food is really important, and getting good wholesome food is super important. So excuse me. Anyway, that's all for me for today. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. If you're new around here, please take a moment to join our community, hit that subscribe, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and comment down below. Drop your questions. There's no such thing as a bad question, okay? So drop it down below. We'll break it down on our next chat. And if any of you are listening that want to check it out in Hindi, me and him are going to chat again, and we're going to dive into this project in Hindi as well. So I am super excited, you guys. I thank you again, and I'll see you again on the next episode of Piece of the Pie, where I'll be helping you get your piece of the pie. Till next time, bye bye. Wait a second. You still here? You still here? Get out of here. Get out of here. Go. Go. Get out of here. Look, my kid and everybody's coming back. Get out of here.